just to feel a touch from God. Now, do you know what you've just done? You've just done what God would tell us to do. Amen? What's this? Yes, you can call upon the elders of the church. Isn't that what it says to do?
Yes.
But did you know that who resides in you?
Jesus.
Jesus. And is there a healer in the house today?
Yes, amen.
And how you feel now, Brother Mike? And not only that, but just to be clear, did you know that if things are not going well, and all, I'm telling you what, this absolutely applies to what we're talking about. Look at the deep meanings of these songs that we sing. Find those songs that bring healing to you.
I've been singing this one more.
Amen. God bless you, brother. Come here, man. No, come up here. He loves us. Oh, how he loves us. How he loves us. So, I mean, how does he love us? I just want to make just a couple of quick announcements. Really quickly, it's not in the. I didn't get it in the bulletin, but towards the end of this month, our district is, and I'm not sure which church it's going to be held in, but for the first time in a while, there's going to be a district meeting, a district revival, if you will, in our state overseer. The bishop of the Church of God in Michigan will be preaching in those revivals. I'm looking to attend a breakfast this next week, if at all possible, to be part there, because they're asking that each church in the district would have some part in each service. Now, the difficulty is that, well, hopefully it's going to be nearby, but it could be in a church, maybe in Kalamazoo, which is a bit of a journey. Amen? But how many of you have ever been to a Church of God camp meeting or revival? Anybody? Let me ask this. Was it worth the trip?
Amen.
And along with that, actually, so the first time since 2019, the Church of God in Michigan, actually I hope that all of our churches in the state, all of our churches will be having a camp meeting. Amen? Are you following me?
Yes.
Now the camp meeting is at the campgrounds. How many of you have been to a camp meeting at the campgrounds in Michigan, or up in Flint, Michigan, or Clinton, Michigan? Amen. Now that takes a little while. Amen. That's a bit of a journey. As a matter of fact, it's a week-long event. Now I understand it's tough for some of us. I mean, we've not been able to attend youth camps or camp meetings since my wife and I returned. Mike and Amanda both. We were compelled to go to full-time employment, which precludes us quite often from being able to attend any of these events. I'm going at least one night, some way, form. I just so you know, I need the fellowship of the Church of God. Amen. I need the fellowship of saints. How many of you need that?
Yeah.
Now, what I'm telling you is, and not that, but there's something else too. That this year, if I'm quoting this properly, it will be 100 years of Pentecost in Michigan. In other words, the Church of God in Michigan will be celebrating its 100th year of being established here. Amen? There's something to be said for that. Out on the bulletin board, I'm not going to, these are out on the bulletin board, and if you want to just mark it in, it's not, like I said, it's not in the bulletin yet. It will be, there'll be a place in the bulletin over the next couple of weeks to remind you. And not only of this, which is happening in June, but also towards the end of this month for our services that will take place someplace in our district. Amen? And you may not be able to go there but one service, but I will promise you this.
Yes.
If you can make it to one, you'll want the rest. Amen? But I would rather make it to one and want the rest than to have never experienced any of it. Somebody say amen.
Amen.
It's worth the effort. Amen? Because I think when we gather together, first off, we say, well, I was glad when they said, let us go into the house of the Lord. But I'll go back to our devotion. Is that just talk? That's a whole other message. Is that just talk? Self-talk? You know, you got to watch out how you're talking to yourself. You need to be friends with your mind, right? You need to befriend your brain. And also, whatever you're saying, your brain is listening to. You wake up in the morning, like tomorrow. What day is tomorrow? Monday. How many of you wake up on Monday and say, Or do you, what, and just so go back, if I went back to the first slide, oh Lord, let my soul rise up to meet you. I started doing that because I realized a long time ago that there was something that was going on. When I woke up in the morning and said, oh, gee, I've got to go to work today. Hey, wait a second. How many of you glad that you got a place to go to work? Amen. And just to be clear, did you know there's a lot of places looking for people that want to work?
Yes.
Amen.
A lot of places offering sign-on bonuses because they can't get anybody to come because too many
Amen.
people are lazy.
So anyway, I just want to bring just these few things up, but I really want to get to our message this morning. We've been, over the last couple of weeks, again, we've been looking over certain songs that we sing, hymns, spiritual songs. One we just did this morning. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. How does he love you? You know, you might well get up, let me count the ways. Well, I don't know if you can really do it like that. But the song that we're looking at this morning is called How He Loves Us, and it's written by a man by the name of John Mark McMillan. It was released in 2005. I can still remember when I first heard that song. Brother Mike, the first time I heard it was at Church of God in Coloma. And there was a group in there, I think they were from Boot Hill. Anybody know where Boot Hill is? What state? No? Wait, we got one. What state?
Kansas.
No? Not Kansas. There's a Boot Hill in Kansas?
Yes.
Wow, okay. I'm thinking Missouri. My point is, though, is that there was a group that was there leading they were there, and they led the worship, and then this young man came and preached the word, and he brought he brought the presence of God. But I'm telling you, that song captivated my attention, it got my spirit. You know, we sing this song, and sometimes it's difficult in smaller congregations, but I love doing it anyway. Amen? And when we look at the words of the song, it's got some salty, it's got some bold, it's got some powerful lyrics. If you would just stop for a moment and realize, watch this, understanding the words that are coming out of your mouth, to coin a phrase. Far too often we're using words, we're singing songs, we don't really have any idea what the meaning is. Amen? Brother Mike appreciates this, but what I know is that from their perspective and from my perspective and some others, when we start looking at the songs, there are some songs that we may or may not sing, not because we don't like them, but because if we don't understand what the meaning is, we don't want to misrepresent the Spirit of God. Amen? So, the idea here is, let me give you this thought. First off, how many of you understand what the love of God is about? First off, did you know that He's in hot pursuit for a relationship with you? Now, are you hearing what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
I'll put it to you this way. The love of God is not a pedestrian. Are you getting what I'm saying? In other words, it's not just a slow walk. He is in hot pursuit. He is jealous for me. Love's like a
Hurricane.
Now, it might be, like even this morning, I just got the gentle nudge. It was kind of, I'm not here alone kind of a thing. And then a thought starts to come to me. And sometimes I sit and I ponder the thought, and sometimes I say, Lord, is that you? If it's you, reveal it. Well, I want to encourage you, if you haven't done this in a while, ask God to reveal Himself to you. Just ask Him. Lord, if you reveal yourself. And don't be so pride, and don't be so arrogant that you don't think that you need to have Him revealed. I'll just tell you right now, I need to know that the presence of the God, that the God I serve is real. Because sometimes my eyes might tell me something else. Or sometimes my feelings. And sometimes, like in our responsive reading, like it says, why do you stand so far off, Lord? And hide yourself in time of trouble. Never been there, have you? You've never been in such a tight spot that you didn't feel you could get out. You've never been in such a dark place that you didn't think that the light of God could ever shine again. You've never had a time in your life? How many of you had a time in your life and you thought, what have I done now? So, as usual, we really don't have time for me to unpack this entire song I was sharing with Brother Mike this morning. But I do want to focus our attention on two themes from this, how He loves. The first is jealousy, and the second is transcendence. Amen? But first, I want to give you a pop quiz here. And see if you know what it is. What was the name of the rock band who wrote the song, Hey Jealousy?